Time travel in comic books is something I hate. It never follows the same rules, it lets DC Comics reboot themselves like 30 different times, and it makes things confusing. But the characters that wield time travel in their arsenal, literally so cool. I'm Adam Andrews with Top 10 Nerd, and this is the top 10 most powerful time traveling superheroes. But quick question, what is your favorite time traveling story, whether it's in comics or outside of comics? Let me know down below. And at number 10 is Timeslip. Rina Patel discovered her mutant powers by accident when she was in college when she traveled into the body of her 4-year-old self, which started her on an adventure that led her into the body of her future self where she had joined the New Warriors. Timeslip can travel to the future or the past versions of her own body, swapping minds with that version of herself. So when she was in the body of her 4-year-old self, her 4-year-old mind was in the body of her college self. Confused? Good, I'm doing a good job. She can also manipulate time to make herself move at faster speeds, so when she ended up in the way of a truck, she slowed down time and moved out of the way. If she wants to fast forward to a moment in the future, Rina simply speeds up time. Number 9. Booster Gold. Booster used to be a star college football player in the future who was caught betting on his own games and he was expelled. So he got a job at the Space and Superhero Museum, found and stole Rip Hunter's time sphere along with a bunch of other superhero gadgets and went back in time with the museum's robot named Skeets. He used his knowledge of future crimes that would come to pass, stopping them for both profit and fame. Eventually, he did actually find humility and become a real hero, traveling throughout time, fixing the cracks in history and fighting evil time traveling threats with no praise or applause except for, of course, readers of his comic books. Number 8. Waverider. Booster Gold does actually eventually become Waverider, but the original Waverider would be Matthew Ryder from the year 2030. In this future, the world has been ruled for 20 years by an armored despot known as Monarch, who has destroyed all of Earth's other superheroes. Ryder was rescued from a collapsing building as a child by an unknown superhero, which inspired him to fight back as an adult. Knowing that Monarch had once been a hero before some unknown event turned him evil, Ryder volunteers as a time travel test subject in hopes of traveling to the past and preventing Monarch from ever coming to exist. Where other experiments failed though, his succeeded, and he entered the time stream and became Waverider, able to move back and forth through time as well as see people's most likely futures by touching them. Monarch used Waverider to go back in time to ensure his own survival, but luckily he was defeated. Sucks to suck, bro. If you guys are enjoying this list so far, why not give that like button a soft caress? It's all you gotta do to show us your support. Alright, now I'm going to try and pretend that I didn't just say soft caress. Number 7. Iron Lad. Nathaniel Richards from Earth 6311 in Marvel Comics brought peace to this particular version of the planet and its history after arriving through time travel. His armor is quite similar to Tony Stark's and shares many of his Iron Man suit's features, hence the Iron Lad name, but this is actually the younger version of the one known as Kang the Conqueror. Iron Lad's armor allows him to create temporal divergences, which let him manipulate time and travel through it. He became the leader of the Young Avengers in order to balance the scales for things that he would do later in life, but he inevitably goes on to become Kang and do all those horrible things anyways, so it doesn't really matter that much. Number 6. Bishop. Bishop comes from a terrible 22nd century future where mutants are hunted for being mutants. As a mutant from the future, Bishop wants nothing more than to prevent this future from happening. So to do this, he travels back to the present day to become Professor Xavier's bodyguard, and eventually he tries to attack Hope Summers while she's a baby, which leads to a conflict with someone we will talk about in just one second. Now, his time jumping abilities are granted by a cybernetic arm that he possesses. His actual mutant power is energy absorption and kinetic energy manipulation, so he is easily a favorite X-Men for a lot of people, me included, even if he lets his knowledge of a possible future guide his actions sometimes. Number 5. Cable. If I'm going to talk Bishop, I am honor bound to talk Cable. Cable is the offspring of Scott Summers and Madeline Pryor, and when he was born, he was immediately sent to the future by his parents because they feared that if he stayed, Apocalypse would hunt him down and take him out, because Apocalypse feared that Cable was the mutant responsible for bringing him down. And it's true, that adult Cable and Apocalypse do have a lot going on, but this is about time travel. Cable has not just one but two modes of time travel. He can use a special future gadget to transport himself as well as his allies to a different point in time. But Cable can also use his telepathic abilities to send his astral form, or his spirit form, back in time. But this method of time travel is quite difficult to perform, and Cable has only ever done it once. Number 4. The Flash. Barry has always been encountering time travelers in his entire career. His grandson Impulse and his arch enemy Reverse Flash come from future times. Flash himself has run so hard that time has stood still, or using the Speed Force or his treadmill, don't ask me how that works, he has traveled into the past or the future. Now he isn't exactly the most adept with time manipulation, like for example when he accidentally created the incredibly not good Flashpoint universe after trying to save his mother from passing on. But still, he can time travel and can even go beyond that and travel across what is known as hypertime, which allows him to hop from one reality to another. Now arguably Wally West was a better time traveler, but that's a debate for the comments down below. Number 3. Green Lantern. Green Lantern? What's he doing here? Well, shh, and let me tell you, jeez. While the Green Lantern ring allows its wielder to create constructs, shoot lasers, fly, breathe in space, become invisible, and heal others, the ring is indeed also capable of time travel as well. While Green Lantern has used his time travel ability to save future cities, he doesn't do it often, as this use for the ring creates a tremendous amount of strain on the body, and the Guardians of Oa just generally don't like it. Kind of grumpy little blue guys. Typically, Green Lanterns only use it as a last resort. Hal Jordan specifically has used the ring to travel to the 70th century. Also, using less physical strain, the power ring allows the Lanterns to communicate with other individuals that are from a different point in time, which is a little bit more helpful. Maybe not, I don't know. Number 2. Doctor Strange. The Sorcerer Supreme of Marvel Comics doesn't really need the Time Stone to travel and manipulate time as is shown in the MCU. The Master of the Mystic Arts is capable of manipulating time in a bunch of different mystical and magical ways, surprisingly. Strange has also been able to stop time, slow it down, or he can just travel through it to either the past or the future. Despite his remarkable skills though, he still requires a significant amount of concentration in order to pull this particular trick off. And magical time travel is also known to be much more dangerous than science-based time travel. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Number 1. Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan from the Watchmen comics has a bit of a different kind of time travel. As well as traveling to different time periods and all that, which he can do, Manhattan also has a unique perception of time, perceiving all events that occur in his life simultaneously. Despite his perception of time, he is still unfortunately a slave to predetermination. He understands the sequence of events that will occur as well as his own involvement in them, but he is forever unable to alter the events in the past or future that he will be a part of. But at the same time, he was also responsible partially for DC's Rebirth event and the New 52 as he altered the timeline, removing 10 years, making everyone 10 years younger. Honestly, his powers haven't ever fully been explained in a way that is either satisfying or completely understandable to those with low IQs like myself. Alright, we have traveled through time. Now, discuss down below. I'm Adam Andrews with Top 10 Nerd. Peace out, nerds.